Welcome back, Daily Show. I'm on vacation still. I still had to work to get to this point, though. You know, Rebecca and Tim Bunt are in the studio. Clutter Cleaner. You should have seen me about 5 minutes ago. You would have thought I got paid to talk for a living. It's great to have you guys in the studio, and really cool to catch you early into this. I mean, you bought your franchise in November, and how's everything been since then?
Yeah, it's been a process.
Kind of a whirlwind, actually.
Yeah, I bet.
Just, you know, starting a new business and not working for somebody else, and doing all our own thing. So yeah, it's been great.
What led to the acquisition? Because Tim, you were at BJC.
I was a hospice nurse for 15 years with BJC, and what led us to here was my mom died in 2021 of COVID, and she and my dad had a house in Shipman, which was full of 50 years of stuff.
Yep.
Right. And my dad was good for probably about a year after that, and then he had to move to assisted living. So we had to downsize all of his stuff and move him into the assisted living. And then we had a whole house of stuff that was like, what do we do? What do we do with this?
Yeah.
Right. So we take care of people that are going through some of the, toughest times of their life, and making sure that their memories are honored and that they're getting taken care of.
Well, and that's such a tough thing for so many people is, we got to get to the downside, and maybe it's a good thing we're getting ready to move and go into hit retirement, or maybe it is, mom and dad just passed away. Where do we go from here?
It can be, it's unexpected for a lot of people, because there's a home hospital rehab kind of cycle that runs with a lot of people, and they don't necessarily know how close they are to that.
Well, and then who wants to admit that too? A lot of the times,
Yeah. Well, and then we're two busy professionals that we have full-time jobs and kids and the sports and all the things, and now we have a house to clean out so we can get it ready to sell. And what do we do with all this stuff that what do we keep, what do we preserve, how do we keep all those memories without keeping the things?
I like it.
So yeah.
Well, and take me through the approach and how you guys work with your clients. I think that's the best first step here. So when I call you or fill out the form online, what's that process look like?
Yeah. So it's kind of two different ways.
Okay.
If we have people that are still, mom and dad are still living and they're in the house, we want to work with them to figure out what they can take with them to their new space, what's going to fit, that sort of thing. But then also figure out what to do with all the rest of the stuff, right? What goes to kids that, if the kids want the stuff, right? A lot of us don't want a lot of our parents' stuff. So how do we approach that with their kids? But
kids aren't sentimental.
Our kids are not sentimental. They do not want our stuff. So,
That's a good point.
But then what else is donatable? What can we help somebody else use, right? What's, help somebody else in that process, but then what really just needs to get thrown away.
Well, I think that's so important because, I'm sure you guys have encountered it where it seems like, for me, there's a couple of different types of people that get it all in the trash can and get it all out of here, or I need a lot of time to really go through and make sure I'm not getting rid. Is that kind of the norm? Do you have some in-betweeners every once in a while?
Yeah. And we really want to try to donate as much stuff as we can.
Oh, yeah.
Keep it out of a landfill.
Keep everything out of the landfill.
And there's some places that we can take things that will then help somebody else who might need a leg up, right?
Yeah.
Who, starting over, that sort of thing.
Not taking everything to, Goodwill does great work, but not just taking everything to Goodwill and dropping it off there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there's lots of other avenues that we can take
services
stuff
over
to.
across the river that are getting people set up with entire households of stuff.
People that,
after tragic events.
Lost everything, or domestic abuse, or any sort of situation where you're starting over. We can help those people with all those things in the process.
I like the way that you're going about your angle on this is the downsizing and really those kind of the big stages of life. And there's so many of us that you acquire things over the years, and hell, no one really pays attention to it. You throw it in the storage room, or if you don't have a storage room, it just kind of it lives there.
Yeah. And there are avenues for ways for people to electronically keep a record of that item without actually keeping that item. Right? There's ways that you can record pictures and videos and your voice even talking about that item, and then you can get rid of it and your family still has a visual and that memory. A lot of times your voice memory talking about that thing, and then sometimes it's easier to let it go. So
I got to ask you, take me through the first job.
Oh man.
Our first job?
job.
We bought our franchise from Matt Paxton, who is on Hoarders. He was he's the founder of the company, right? So we actually went out and did a job with him in
California.
In Rancho Mirage, California.
Yeah.
And it was for his TV show Filthy Fortunes.
Wow.
So it was a guy who had been a tennis pro in Vegas, and he knew everybody who was anybody in Vegas. There was pictures of him on the wall with Buzz Aldrin,
Chuck Norris, like all sorts of cool people.
You know,
awesome.
anybody that you could think of, and he had a story for everything. If we listened to every story that Bill would have had,
we'd still be there today. And this
Palm
was in
Springs.
January, so
right.
But he was a fascinating guy. I had all sorts of fun stories. But keeping him on track of okay, you can tell me stories about these 3 things, and then we got to move on to the next thing. Keeping him on track, but then figuring out is there anything valuable here, and helping that, like I said, helping the family keep the memory of that thing without keeping the thing anymore. And,
sorting.
Yeah,
right.
sorting.
Sorting.
Yep. Yeah. Lots of sorting.
Keep,
and
sell. Donate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you tackle it? Whenever you go into it, because I'm sure every home is different. That it's hard to give a direct answer on that because you don't know what you're walking into,
right.
and pictures don't do it justice.
Right.
Does it start with kind of just sitting down and getting to know who the people are for? Just that process.
Yeah. What's their goal? Where are they going? Right? Are they going to assisted living where they have a really small space? Are they going to a 2-bedroom apartment or a smaller house? So figuring out with them what they can take with them. And then figuring out, once they've moved, or, we can help them move, but then figuring out what to do with all the rest of the stuff. Do their kids want any of it? Is it, And
you start with an area that's not emotional, that they're not emotionally attached to.
Gotcha.
So a closet.
Or a kitchen or a bathroom. A bathroom is a perfect spot because a lot of that stuff in there, it's expired. You just throw it out. It doesn't have an emotional value. You can so then you start building momentum, right? So a kitchen, a bathroom, and then start with a closet. Like start small. If they're, if they don't have a set timeline, start small. We can build on that.
I like this. Well, and I think it's really good for the children of the parents that are downsizing and going to assisted living or unfortunately have passed, but also for the husband or the wife out there for one or the other, because someone's going to be very sentimental about these items. The other one's going to say,
the easiest to be honest, the easiest scenario is mom and dad have already moved on, to their new place or they passed and the kids took everything they wanted and they're like, get rid of the rest.
Oh, I bet.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we can go through and figure out what is donatable, what really just needs to get thrown away. And then that's fast and easy. And we can help them, those adult children get to that point where they can sell the house and they can move on with their life. Right. Yeah. Like you don't need to mess with this anymore. We got it.
Now, do you guys do like in a estate sale side of things, or is that just...
We'd probably work with an estate sale company because that's their specialty. That's what they do.
I like that.
So we would kind of go through and help people figure out what is sellable and then refer them to a estate sale company. Because like I said, that's what they do for a living. That's what they're good at. So.
Exactly. And just grow the partnership,
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. And we're not junk haulers and we're not movers, right?
That's a good...
But we can help if anybody's anywhere in that process. They're talking to a realtor. We can help the realtor get that house cleared out so it's more presentable, so they can sell it faster, along the whole stream, right? Like just downsizing, moving mom and dad to assisted living, or if it's after they're gone.
Because, the whole process for anybody, whether it's your house or your parents' house or anyway, it's an emotional roller coaster of how do I deal with this, right? Like we've been there. I mean,
it's disorienting. It's...
well, you feel punch drunk through the entire thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's certifiable when somebody is being traumatized with death or a sickness or something like that. They change neurochemically, right?
Yeah.
And they reach decision fatigue earlier, right? And it's like they have to be, really handheld and talked through that, right?
And that's a good point too, the decision fatigue. Like if they're not in a hurry, then we can spend a little bit of time on lots of days going through small parts because the decision fatigue. What do you want to do with this? What do you want to do with this? It gets overwhelming. It gets a lot in one little setting.
I'm sure you get to a point where you hear, I just don't.
Just don't care. Just don't care. Just,
It's because you can't make a decision.
Yeah. Exactly. And then it's like, okay, we need to stop. Just stop for now.
Yeah.
We'll, So if they're not in a hurry, we can take our time.
What I want to. What's the minimum square? Do you have a kind of a rubric or anything, or square footage or items?
Pricing's really based on square footage of the rooms involved, or the garage involved, and how full it is, right?
Yeah.
We would come in and take a look at that.
And we can do short bursts with somebody. Like I said, we can a couple hours a day for an extended amount of time. Yeah, so we can customize it to fit what they need at that point in their life.
I like this. Now, what's your service area?
So technically, our territory is St. Louis.
Okay.
But there's no other franchises around us, and
corporate
said, how far do you want to go? So.
Good for you.
Yeah. So we can do. We live in Shipman, and we can go to St. Louis, so we can do anywhere around there.
So you're really in a good area right here. A lot of opportunities too.
Yeah.
Anywhere from Calhoun to Belleville to
West County.
What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Probably my cell phone. Probably our business line, which you can call or text, which is 314-226-1326. And that's our business phone that people can call or text.
And I know that we just talked, just to give you guys a little bit of if you look online and want to make sure you find the right folks, the official site's getting kind of updated for you guys, but we have a landing page and all that good stuff. And
Cool.
Yeah.
Really Can we make an offer to your listeners?
Yeah.
Go for it.
So we were going to offer that we would do an hour of downsizing with anybody if they wanted our services if they can't reach out to us before the end of May.
Oh,
we'll
there you
offer
go.
an hour of help just starting that process, because sometimes it's just getting that ball rolling.
Understanding what the process truly is.
Right.
Yep.
I
So
like that.
yeah.
You guys got a moment to take a quick break?
Yeah.
Let's pay a bill. It's I can't tell you the time I'm on vacation. We'll come back and chat it up more next.
Firearms training shouldn't feel intimidating. At Precision Point Armory in Bethalto, we focus on safety, confidence, and real-world skills. Whether you're new or renewing your concealed carry, you'll get professional instruction without pressure. Learn safe handling, sound decision-making, and proper techniques tailored to your experience level. If you're looking for premium firearms training in the heart of Bethalto, Illinois, call 618-779-9947 or go to precisionpointarmory.net and train with confidence today.
Struggling with depression that just won't go away? At Precision TMS, we offer a non-invasive, drug-free treatment designed to target the areas of the brain linked to mood regulation. Using FDA-cleared transcranial magnetic stimulation, gentle magnetic pulses help reactivate underperforming brain circuits without surgery or sedation. Many patients experience real relief, even after other treatments haven't worked. Our experienced team provides personalized care every step of the way. Contact Precision TMS today to see if TMS therapy is right for you.
Accidents happen in a heartbeat, but lives change forever. Whether it's a car crash, workplace injury, medical malpractice, or wrongful death, you don't have to face the consequences alone. Keith Short and Associates brings over 33 years of experience and a reputation for fighting fiercely for your rights. For relentless representation that you can trust, call Keith Short and Associates at 618-254-0055 today for a free consultation.
What's up? It's Mike Keith. What's up, bro? Good, my guy. Back to spotlight other amazing alumni and how they discovered their path at Lewis and Clark. Let's jump into it. This is Tom Wills,
an assistant chief of the Godfrey Fire District. He has been a firefighter and an EMT for over 20 years. Tom is currently an instructor in the Lewis and Clark Paramedicine program and has 2 degrees from LC, fire science and nursing.
I'm Tom Wills, and I'm a trailblazer.
If you think you might be pregnant, you don't have to face it alone. At Vitality Women's Clinic, you'll find the care you deserve. We offer confidential, no-cost pregnancy testing, ultrasounds, and STI testing. Our team is here to listen, support you, and help you understand your options without pressure or judgment. Walk in or make an appointment today. Call 618-466-1690 or visit vitalitywomensclinic.org. Vitality Women's Clinic, clear answers, real support.
Welcome back. Daily Show continuing, and we're back in with Clutter Cleaner. I said it twice. That's kind of a rarity here. Rebecca and Tim Bunt back into the studio. And as we're going forward, I think it's so cool with you guys being in the early stages to just see how you guys have kind of developed the last couple of months.
Yeah.
What's the plan from here?
we're going to be looking for team members to help us.
Cool.
So hopefully, as we start ramping this up, we'll be looking for people to jump in and help us pull stuff out of houses. And we've got our kids involved and their boyfriends involved. And so, yeah.
I was just telling you, I love the fact that with, being a franchise, you're still adding the family dynamic to it. And, really just the work that goes into getting the leads going and getting the network. It ain't easy.
No, it's not for the faint of heart. It is not. It keeps me up at night, but it's worth it. I mean, helping people is the gold mine.
So if someone calls now, are they going to have a pretty good chance in getting on the books pretty soon? Okay, wonderful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the next couple weeks, but we'll be doing some, we have time for some consultations and that sort of thing. Free consultation for anybody, there's no obligation. We'll come out and help you look at your space. And
we're not high pressure.
Not high pressure.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's the right fit, it'll be the right fit. So
I feel like it has to be the right fit for both parties too on this, because it's going to be hard to get the job done if the client's combative or if you guys just aren't connected. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if we're just not connecting, then but
314-226-1326 is the business line to call and get that process going. You also offered a great deal if you guys are just tuning in during the break. 1 hour?
1 hour of downsizing help if you need to just get the ball rolling. We'll come out, but you have to contact us before the end of May. Yep. So
you got some time.
Yeah.
You got more than enough time to get that going. Yeah, and I'm going to tell your wives and husbands now so you guys can't say, I didn't know about that. No,
Mother's Day's coming up.
That's exactly right. Now, that would be a hell of a gift. Now, are you sticking specifically, do you guys think, to just kind of those facets of the downsizing and those, could it just be from any aspect that we're experiencing
really,
this too?
Anybody that needs help that's overwhelmed with a space, closet, garage, basement.
It doesn't have to
be a whole house.
Okay.
Nope.
Correct.
If you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed out by a space that is just too much, we're happy to jump in and let you know what we can do for you.
I like that.
So, yeah.
And she's a certified senior move manager, so she can arrange for the whole transition from at home to an assisted living.
In fact, we had somebody from Wisconsin base that is moving here that contacted me yesterday about helping their client unpack. Yep,
kidding.
They're moving from Wisconsin to Glen Carbon and need help just unpacking and knowing there's somebody there to support that. So, yeah, we can help with any part of that.
That's such a cool job, too, because you get more of the personal side of things and get to know the people where they're at.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
What, I got to ask you, then, what was the one thing about TV that surprised you watching the film, the process?
The one thing that surprised us?
I mean, made-for-TV magic is magic. But, being there and being part of that, seeing how it works and actually interacting with the client was amazing.
Like how fast things can get done.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, that's awesome.
It was great. Yeah.
I like that.
So,
now, has there been a shaboozy of a job so far in the short term of Clutter Cleaner?
I mean, we did a garage clean out a few weeks ago, and it was a doozy. Like, they couldn't get into one half of the garage for the longest time. They didn't even really know what was in there. We were able to pull everything out, and they found some things that they hadn't seen in years. And,
military uniforms that he'd worn.
Yeah, it was, And again, hearing his stories, the dad, oh yeah, that's that, and that's that, and oh, what's this? And then he'd be like, oh, it goes with this, and we put it together. Oh yeah, that's a rock tumbler, and these are the pieces, So finding those things that he was like,
she was able to break into 3 safes.
Oh yeah, they had some safes that they didn't have combinations for, and he was like, yeah, bust into it. So that was so fun.
Do you guys have a Facebook for the local or for here?
Yep, it's Clutter Cleaner of STL. Is our Facebook. Go. Yeah, easy peasy. So, yeah.
Or local here to Alton. So
well, and I think it's good to get that out there to make sure people don't think it's just for St. Louis, because you guys are right here in Shipman and coming all the way back down too. That's awesome.
It's our backyard.
I bought myself enough time. Here's the Facebook page, Clutter Cleaner of STL.
Yep.
And
that's a picture of us from California from our job clean out with Matt. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, it was fun. Our episode of Filthy Fortunes was just on last Sunday. So
no kidding.
Yeah.
Did you guys have fun watching it?
Oh yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
Awesome, man.
This is cool. It was kind of surreal.
Yeah.
I like this. So, before we let you go, if you guys are tuning in, an hour of
downsizing help.
Thank you very much. Downsizing help is provided for you if you call before the end of May to Clutter Cleaner. There's a couple ways to do it. You can reach out to their Facebook page too and say hi, or 314-226-1326.
Yep.
Let's see. Anything else I'm forgetting about with what you guys offer?
I don't know.
I think we about covered it.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
We're compassionate. We're
that was what
customizable, right?
Well, you seem like very good
we're,
people. Like,
honestly,
I'm not just to have you on.
We're not looking to just run in somebody's house and throw stuff in boxes and take it
throw it away
to a donation place, right?
But also the fact that we've been there, done that. We, so we get it.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for your time. Have you ever had to do like a sign of the cross before you go into one of these houses yet? Because of just how bad it looks. Okay.
Not yet.
In my previous job, so I used to do that all the time.
We'll take it. That's great. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with more next.